Their parents have lived here for years and they're coming in here now. They're juveniles. A lot of them are from New Zealand, the Cook Islands and those places. They're coming here. They're not Australian citizens. They're waiting for their visas. They're doing home invasions. They're committing indictable matters. They're robbing people. They're doing what they like to whoever they like. And Tony Burke and the Labor Party are not doing anything about this. And half of these kids weren't born here. Half of these kids are not even on proper visas yet. I know 17-year-old kids that have come here and they've been here 2 years and they're in the criminal justice system and they've been charged with very, very serious indictable matters.
Good afternoon. There's been drama on the Gold Coast earlier today. Residents plunged into lockdown following a violent armed robbery. Hataya Gripsky has the details.
We're on Worley Drive in Gilston where two men and a teenage boy have just been arrested after a mammoth police search. Our news helicopter capturing the moment one of the suspects is marched out of a property in handcuffs and put into the back of a police car, the end of a more than 6-hour standoff. A 17-year-old boy accused of being part of a trio, armed and masked, that stormed an Arundel home just before 5 a.m.
The three offenders are armed with a machete and a firearm. And we're allowing this sort of stuff to go on. We're allowing kids that have come here who are not Australians or the rest of it, getting on our Centrelink and going for our community justice system. And it's time Tony Burke and the Prime Minister starts doing something about this. When we go to the federal election later next year, we're going to campaign against the Prime Minister on immigration and border protection and women's rights, where women come first and they're protected. We're going to stop these juveniles carrying knives, stop these juveniles going into shops and holding them up and smashing counters and armed robbing everything and taking what they like and snatching, grabbing. Police put them into police cars and they get out and let out. And the Human Rights Commissioner in Queensland and other states is saying you can't do this to juveniles. Well, what about good, hard-working Australian men and women who come home, who'll go to work and get bashed at work by trying to go and earn an honest dollar? And it's very clear that this Prime Minister, this Tony Burke, allows this sort of stuff to go on. They haven't got the guts to start deporting people who are not Australian citizens, who have not got proper visas. They should just turn the floodgates off and kick them out. Pass legislation and protect Australians. Australians, if this is the way of life you want, where you're getting stabbed to death in your own home, you're getting stabbed to death in shopping centres, your businesses are getting ransacked and robbed all the time for people who weren't born here, who have come here because their parents, one of their parents has migrated here and then come here later on and committing these crimes. And it's very simple that what we need to do is we need to say enough's enough and we need to stop this behaviour going on in Australia. And what we need to do is send Mr Albanese, Mr Burke a very strong message, and this is the way it's got to be done. People don't want people to be killed in their own homes, killed in shopping centres and the rest of it. What they want is to be able to go about their life freely and have a nice place to live, a safe workplace and the rest of it. Instead, we've got juveniles that are allowed to do what they like, when they like. They're lawless, they break into homes, they steal people's cars, and the only person who pays for this damage is the insurance companies. Australians pay higher premiums in insurance, but Mr Albanese doesn't get this. What he's interested in is doing deals with underworld people, going to weddings, and allowing underworld people to come back into the country. He won't bring tough legislation. You know, I've got a very experience, and I had a Nepalese national that pursued me, belted me, and did the wrong thing by me. His name is Samid Dakal, and very clearly, Mr Burke is aware of this situation, nothing about it. He turned a blind eye because he doesn't care about white Australian males. He just allows people from other countries white Christian males and get away with it. This man, Samid Dakal, posted on Facebook and he wanted to behead every white Christian male in Australia. And Mr Burke turned a blind eye to this. So if Mr Burke turns a blind eye to that, he'll turn a blind eye to juveniles robbing shops, holding up shops, breaking into houses, holding knives to throats of women, killing white women in the streets, Queensland and New South Wales and other places, and all he says, oh, what do you want me to do? What about the poor Jewish people? They're getting their synagogues all burnt down. Mr. Albanese, Mr. Burke, the electorate's had enough, and we're going to campaign really strongly against you. You need to go, and you need to let a new team of people come in and fix this mess that you've left, a trail of destruction. Because that's what you're about, Mr. Albanese. It's allowing people to kill people, to commit crimes, break into shops, smash and grab, and do what they like, and let people come from different countries and get visas and be allowed to get away with this. It's time we send a strong message. New South Wales has got a big problem where people are coming from overseas and they're racking up millions and millions of dollars in speeding fines and parking fines and selling their driver's license to everybody and getting away with it. It's time we wipe our immigration system out and build a new for the 21st century where we start to say, right, if you come here, you have to get a federal driver's license. And if you don't pay your fines, you don't get another visa. If you start selling your driver's licenses picked up, you're getting all these fines and you're not paying for them, you're automatically deported. There should be no more ABN numbers for any student or overseas person who's not a citizen, to protect our Australian way of life by not racking up all these tax debts. But Mr. Albanese seems to turn a blind eye to all this. He's for no law and order, like the Greens, and he just allows the underworld to control what goes on in this country. This is why we've got people getting killed on the streets, killed at shopping centres, killed in the homes, and Mr. Albanese, Tony Burke, don't fix the immigration policy. People are crying out for help, Mr. Albanese, Mr. Burke, and you're not doing one thing about it. So, Mr. Dutton, let's get together. If I have a chance to win at the next election, let's team up together and bring some of the toughest immigration and border protection you've ever seen and send these people packing all these juveniles. If they've got any criminal record while they're waiting for the visas, they should be deported straight away. Thank you. My name's Adam.